doing what we've done before. We're gonna establish a solid color rectangle, right? Exactly, we've gotta click on intersect, exactly the size of our document, right? Cool. Now, we're going to create trim marks object. Create trim marks, right? Well, we're gonna do that, okay? So, there are my trim marks. Notice, they're vector, they're selectable. Now I'm gonna click on my rectangle tool again. Command R, if we don't have our rulers. You're gonna click in the ruler, and this is very important. People don't drag onto the actual point. You should, so that it snaps perfectly into the center. You can do it this way, but see, you're just kind of just guessing at it this way. Move the cursor onto the dot. Cool? Yes? All right. We're gonna remove the rectangle because we only use it to establish these things. You're gonna make sure, and this is gonna be on a quiz, what is the command for showing or hiding guides? Anyone know?
Command colon.
Command colon or command semicolon. Technically, if we go up to view, that's good. And we go to guides, what does it show there? Hide guides, command semicolon. But it's colon. But here on the computer it says command colon, semicolon. So, anyway, we should practice that toggling back and forth. Now we're gonna need to do that because we have to establish the fold mark, right? And how do we do that? We zoom in a little bit. We got our hollow or direct select arrow or white arrow. You gotta be kidding me that phone is ringing. I'm gonna ignore it for right now. Not that I always ignore the phone, but in this case, I am going to. Now check this out. With a hollow arrow or direct select, we can click on something. Notice how I selected that one, but you'll see that the 2 points that make this line are white. Very different if I do this. If I drag over the whole thing, now what color are the 2 points? They're blue or solid, yes. So that is the correct way for this particular thing. I click in the center once I've selected it with the same hollow arrow, drag it right onto the middle guide, hold my Option because I want to copy it, hold my Shift because I want it to be in line with this one and the one across from it, and it'll snap right on that guide. I'm gonna hide my guides, command,
Colon, semicolon.
command colon or semicolon, good. While it's selected, I'm gonna go up to my stroke panel. It's on my tap menu, or I can go to my window and select stroke, the actual window right here, and show all the attributes by opening it like that. I'm gonna click on dash line. This one's already entered because we did it a few times, and you're gonna enter 3 points in between the dashes. So 3, tab, 3, tab, 3, tab, 3, tab. Cool. Now you'll notice if I zoom in, it is a dashed line. To a printer or anyone working in a print shop, a real print shop, a dashed line means fold or score and fold. Yes? Okay? We could literally send these files to a printer here locally that I used to work at, and if they get this on the press and they print them out, and again, in printer's language, if this were solid, they would probably cut it, unless you told them, hey, I messed up, I didn't put that was a fold, but it is a fold. Don't cut it down the middle, because then we'll end up with halves of the cards everywhere. Yes? Does everyone understand? So to signify a fold or a score, it must be dashed, or a printer might misinterpret it and cut it. Same thing for the bottom one. We're gonna do the same thing. Bring back our guide, command,
Colon, semicolon.
colon or semicolon. Direct select with your arrow. We're doing the same thing we did to the top one. Option, Shift, hide the guide. I made it rhyme, hide the guide. Green eggs and ham, thank you. Stroke, dash line, it's already set. Beautimous, right? Now, because we're using the printer here in class, and it's a laser printer and it won't print to the extreme edges of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, we're having to scale our crop marks and fold line. I think we figured out that it was 89 or something like that. Let's see.
85.
Yeah, let's see. We use our scale tool. We double click it. What did we say? 80.
5.
Let's try 85. I think you're right. 85. Very nice. This is gonna fall into place, right? Once we have this set this way, right? I can bring my guide back. I'm gonna save this file as final to you. Some people can make a variation on this with crops.
That donut looks fresh. Just like me.
Not
That's
crops.
crops.
Crops. Okay? I'm gonna save it as an AI file. Can I save it just loosely in your
Yeah.
folder? Okay. Cool. Now you should have at this point your PDF files already saved of your card. Do you have yours?
Yeah, you saved one.
Okay. So we call this layer guides or crop marks. I personally have used crop marks all my life, but here it's called trim marks. If you want to call it trim, you could put a slash. If you talk to a printer or another graphic designer that's doing print, you'll understand trim marks, crop marks. Cool? All right. Now I'm going to bring my guides out onto, notice I'm snapping onto the crop marks. These are literally where we're going to cut, right? Once we print these out. And the blue, remember, does not print. It is solely on screen, right? Cool. New layer inside of card. File
Or card.
of card, I'm sorry.
Wait, that was
You guys are so exacting.
Oh, okay, now I know what that one is. Okay, now.
Okay, we ready? File, place. How do we, there's a quick command too. For placing an image. Shift Command P. Where are your cards?
What? Card.
That was the text
Card.
message thing.
Those sound like your text message?
Right there?
I messed up.
Okay, check it out. I place it.
It was different.
I go to this corner. Click once. It'll be full size. We're gonna scale down. I think I did 90. Let's try 90. It's gonna be different for some people. Let's see. 90. Okay, let's do a little bit more. Let's do 89. Remember, we need a minimum of 1/8 or close to an eighth bleed. And how do we check to see if we're near the 1/8? You get a little rectangle, 0.125, 0.125. Aye.
Take 5.
All right. And we know that that is an eighth of an inch. Oh, we want it solid. We know that that's an eighth of an inch. If I bring it over here, it's pretty close. And over here, it might be a little bit wider on the sides. That's fine, right? But that's pretty close. Now here is where you check. You're seeing the blue guides are exactly where it's gonna cut. Me personally, I think this Y is too close to here. Everything else is good. This image is gonna cut off. Over here, it's fine. Now, can I afford to scale it down a little bit more? Let's try. Now here's where people make the mistake. They hit enter right away and no, you're reducing it another 11%. You want to go back and reset it. Say we want to reduce it 2% of where it is right now. Then it would be 98. And that's pretty close. I think this is acceptable, right? I'm okay with that. And we still have enough bleed to cut away. Any more, and I think we're cutting it close. Let's try this, another 2%. That one's right on it. We don't want that, right? So that's pretty good. Are you okay with this? Now, in rare occasions, if you're short on time and say the printer calls you and say, hey, you know what? Your bleeds are a little bit small, right? Will it affect the image if I maybe stretch it a little bit, right? Or maybe move it over a little bit so that Y could be a little bit farther away. We still have enough, the printer will tell you, I still have enough bleed. It's not gonna be an eighth, but it's close enough for us and we'll be able to cut it. Yeah, sometimes you can do that and tweak it a little bit, right? Or if your artwork is not so important that you could maybe stretch it out a little bit. Again, I don't condone this because you're kind of changing the design a little bit, you know, by stretching it. Now, if we did something like this extreme, right? That's too much, right? Does that make sense? But can we tweak it a little bit? It's not perfect. Yeah, we can, just to get us a little bit more space right here. Now, you're okay with the fold? This is where it's gonna fold, right? Some people would say, well, maybe I could have moved him over a little bit so that the fold will be right on his cheek. That's an artistic thing, a design thing, that's up to you, right? But we didn't get to see it until right now
Yeah.
where the fold is falling. That would be up to you. Me personally, I'd probably move him over a little bit. Not so much that you know, we have a lot of purple area here, because then you'd probably have to scale the guy down a little bit. You don't want to mess with your design, but that's pretty much it where we're at. Let's save this, right? And we're gonna do the same thing with the outside. Yes? Turn this one off, right? And shift command what to place?
P.
Awesome. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like this one. Nice. Scale it down. What did we say? Let's do 10%. And
Then 2%.
yeah, I kinda messed up there. 98. I think that's pretty close. And everything looks good to me. The fold is good. There's enough spacing here, and enough here. I think we're good there, so let's save this. Now, the last thing you gotta do is, right now how you see it, with the crop marks on, let's hide the guides. With the crop marks, file, save as. And on this one, we're gonna put final to print out. Sometimes you can abbreviate out. And sometimes I even like to put it in a folder and call that one output. That to me tells me that's the one I'm gonna PDF, save. So yes, we're placing a PDF within a PDF, and that's okay, as long as they're good quality. Press quality, save. Now in this particular instance, I always tell people turn the PDF off, but in this case, we don't have to because we are just doing the final PDFs. It's when you're working in your Illustrator file.
Don't forget to change.
Yeah, so. Save, press quality. And now we have, now you close it, so you don't get Confucius. And if you go to your folder, in the output folder, you should have the two ready with the crop marks. Those are ones you're gonna email me, and hopefully I can print them out for you today. Cool?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. If you need me to show you again, I'll show you again. But I know it's a lot of steps.
And
Pause it.
13 minutes.